Hey YouTube, it's Hio and we're back with another Sword of Convallaria video. Today we're going to be going over LilyWill. She's another DPS slash debuffer unit that is very light on the debuff, but is similar category as Nungle, where she's just here to deal damage to the enemy team. So today video we're going to just discuss why you might use her, why you might not use her, pros, cons, her abilities, and potentially team comps you might use with her. In my opinion, I think she's a little more independent than Nungle. Her playstyle lends it such that you can really sort of move around the battlefield and deal damage as you need. It goes for like a lot of other units besides Nungle. I think Nungle is particularly special, but the way that she does it here, it's very obvious, especially when you give in her kit, as she's very sort of fluid in the battlefield. And I think her at least gameplay shows as much. Okay, so let's go over her trait. Her trait is Viltar Guardian. Hopefully I pronounced that maybe somewhat correct, or at least understandably. She possesses jump, so she gets triple her jump stat, which I don't know where it shows here. I know it's somewhere in here. Here we go. Her jump stat. So she gets 6 jump, which is a lot. I think this basically means any unit that doesn't have a high jump like her or doesn't have jump, basically just can't get to her when it comes to maps with a lot of elevation changes. So I think in particular that mostly goes for a lot of the Voltar maps, like in the Fool's Journey. Basically, they just can't get to her. Like, she's just sitting there doing damage for free, and no one can really like stop her from doing damage unless it's like another ranged unit that can even hit that high, right? Like, those ranged units have to hit that high in order to get to her. So that's a particularly strong sort of trait. On top of that, she has 15% bonus attack, and of course this is somewhat dependent on my star level. I have her at 4 stars, but this scales up as you get more stars. She ignores assisting cover, so if you have units that are sort of hiding behind their front line, say no more to that. LilyWill is here to destroy any of the destroyers that are back there. If they're hiding, you better hide them, because LilyWill is going to hit them if she gets close enough. Which is particularly strong considering that she has 50% bonus attack on top of having 30% crit when you're attacking from a highland position. So you're basically going to go untested near those highland positions and just like rain destruction on like the enemy's backline here, which is like really cool. And the cool thing about this is, like, because you have jump and assuming you're taking advantage of the highland position, units that are trying to get to you are going to have a real hard time, because there are a lot of disadvantages of going to highland when you're going from the bottom, such as like the reduced movement range because the deduction that you get, the penalty you get from going to high range. That's something that LilyWill just doesn't care about. So there's a lot of like kiting in that sense, right? She can make a lot of maneuverability, which means that like you don't really have to babysit her. Unlike Nungle, like, she doesn't really need much babysitting, which I think is really cool. Okay, so that's her trait. So what does that mean for us? So here it looks like generally, just from her trait, she cares about a few things. One is damage, like her trait is literally all damage, bonus attack, and then 30% crit, which is like cool. And on top of that, it looks like she does have maneuverability from her jump. So she's got a lot of, like, I guess, fluidity to her in that sense. Okay, so what does that mean for her kit, at least the way that I built her? I think, at least from her trait, I want to go a little bit from like the crit angle, just because I think that's something that we can use in order to at least destroy some of that backline, or at least get higher damage out of some of her abilities. For example, one of her abilities is wind walking, another ability is Arrow of Aeolus, and this automatically gives you highland advantage. So you mix that with some of the other gear that we have on her, like, she just has really high crit chance. So you have like the 30% chance here. You get the 30% chance from the True Lens, or sorry, 20% from True Lens. So that's 50% total. On top of that, you have stuff like the Star Raid crossbow, and then you have something like the Verdict of Justice, which gives you another 30%. And then you're quickly coming up to like 90% crit here. You can go also with like a few other things inside of her abilities. Like, for example, you can go with something like the aim, which gives you another 30% crit. But I'm feeling like there's a little diminishing returns here, where like you could just use something else here. Like, crit damage might just be as suitable, and you can just rely on having that not having the 100% crit, but like critting, just because your crit is already so high. So yeah, that's how I went about it anyways. And so we just have high crit rate, not 100% crit rate, just high crit rate. I think there's a trade-off too, because I think I did see a article, a forum somewhere, that like crit rate is only at 1.3 multiplier, right? So if you're doing 100% damage and you crit, it's going to do 130 damage total. It's not going to do twice the damage. So if that is correct, that means there is somewhat diminishing returns from the crit, right? Like you could opt, instead of doing 1.3x damage from like all the crit, you could just add extra damage. Like instead of doing 1.3 with the crit and having 100% crit all the time, you could just like instead just do 150 damage, right? And not rely on the crit. And just having like 50% crit just in case, some cases where like, you know, the 150% damage is going to be like 100 and, I don't know, if you round it, like 160, 170-ish damage, like in total. So like, there's definitely something we said up there about how you want to build her. But yeah, so like this is the current build. On top of this, if you do go the crit route, you can take advantage of the Star Reed crossbow, which does give you the extra 20% physical attack damage as piercing damage. So it's just like an extra oomph here. And this also nicely combines with abilities such as the Arrow of Aeolus Gale Break, because that means this high damage ability will also proc the Star Reed crossbow's damage. So it meshes pretty well. With this current build also, I do run Gale Shooting over the Infection. That's just because I'm not usually running too much to support LilyWill with this team. And so she just has high base damage from her auto attack, which is nice because she also has the really long range because I use the Obstinate. And the Obstinate is, because I use the Wind Walking. Wind Walking is the extra range. And so she's like dealing damage frequently from afar. On top of having like the really strong crits, because the crit damage multiplier, I guess, is just increased by 10%. So there's a lot happening here with this. Her auto attacks just dealing a good amount of damage. Okay, so what else do we have here? We have Gale Footwork here. I think this is a super strong ability in the sense that it basically means that if LilyWill gets attacked from the front or side from melee attack, she just gets a free get out of jail free card. And as a damage dealer, this is like a godsend. Like, can you imagine like getting out of the way for free as like Nungle? That would be amazing, right? Then you just like automatically get an extra like X amount of damage from your passive, your trait, because like you backed up away automatically. That's what basically LilyWill gets for free. So this is one of those aspects of her kit where it's like, yeah, she just is very free-willed. She's very free-willed because she can just get out of places for free with her passive, which is really strong. On top of that, I think her trait at 5 stars actually goes even further above and beyond by reducing the cooldowns of her abilities. Okay, so I guess it's only when attacking from behind the position, but like you can see, like this is like super strong in that sense. Yeah, LilyWill is really good in that sense. Okay, so she has that. She also has the Marksman. I like Marksman a lot just because I think it's really good to have the extra no assist here. So even though it's a little redundant with the, I think, assisting cover, it does offer the extra 12% attack, which could be helpful because this also helps with all the abilities. You could swap it in with something else like a Shooting Stars for the extra utility, but in general, I think I've been relying on just using stuff like Aeolus Gale Break on cooldown, on top of like having someone like Coco can reduce the cooldowns, because generally that's my main energy spender here. I generally like to make most of my builds with like one energy spender because that means I can lean into one sort of, I don't know, usage pattern of a particular unit without sort of breaking free of like, I don't know, their sort of like reason of being in a team. So like basically in the sense like she's just like the main nuclear on my team, right? Because she's always going to have the, when she has energy, she's just always going to use the Gale Break. There's no sort of push to do something else. You could make it more flexible if you want, but in my build here, I'm just really trying to nuke a particular unit. And that's how I really have her set up. We can see her in game to see how she plays. I think one of her stronger, I guess, maps is gonna be something like this, where basically we have a bunch of units on the lowland, and we're on the highland, and basically go around and we try to, you know, kill some of the units that are on the lowland. Okay, so all in all, I think she's probably she's probably okay in most teams. Like I said, I think if you go in knowing that she's just going to try and make some picks, she's like a supportive DPS unit, she makes some picks, then she's not going to disappoint you much. Her damage might not be as strong in general as Nungle, but I think she makes a good unit to destroy destroyers. Like she can pretty easily just get to them if she needs to. Where she fails, I think, is being, I guess, a particularly consistently strong unit. I feel like, for example, because we do rely a lot on just like getting crits, with this build, and particularly crits with the Arrow of Aeolus, so that way we can trigger a hand advantage. Basically, we sort of go for nukes. And outside of that, we go for our auto attacks, which doesn't really do too much debuffing, which is kind of like the Nungle effect, where like high damage, but after that, there's not quite too much utility. You could go something, and I've been sort of dabbling with this, something like the Shooting Stars. And I think this is a little bit better, but like the damage sort of just, the reason to playing LilyWill changes a little bit. And we can sort of see that. So let's actually just go make a team for her and show you how this looks. So we can go, and she honestly just works for like any sort of team because I think she's very self-dependent. We can go for like something that's like particularly straightforward. For example, we can go like Mina. We could do like Aisha Pamina combo, and basically that'll allow us to hurry and quickly like finish the game, really. Just like run through the map, speed run. Probably take this. I think that's fine. Honestly, this might be it. Like, we probably don't need too much else. We could use like another healer just in case, but I don't think we need too much else. Like, we could do this. I don't know, what would I run else here? I could do like this. So Safia Promise. It's like, this is probably like an okay team comp. Let us try this. Oops. Okay. Let's try this. So I think this is gonna be like, okay. One thing you will see though here is that like we really don't need too much for LilyWill. And we're just gonna try to like bum rush this really. Where like we just literally go for the kill here at the boss. We can't quite hit that, can we? Yeah, we're just gonna go after them. Really, we could probably just do this. This is probably okay. This is like super aggressive here, but I think it'll be okay. Can we hit that? We can't hit this, unfortunately. Okay, and they all come down there already. Yeah, I think they're just gonna keep spawning units down there. Okay, this doesn't matter because I think it's just gonna bring down. Yeah. Actually, I probably should have added that one skill that lets Safia move units. And this is like, this is kind of disgusting because it's not really showing. Hold up, it's not really showing off. What's her name? Is it? Okay, we can just calm down here. We do want them all to sort of funnel to the right side though, otherwise it's gonna feel a little lackluster. There we go. And I guess that's why it's like really good to have the other team, just because, I'm sorry, the other map, just because like you can really tell like that map really excels at showing the limits of your team. Okay, but we do get our first unit here that we can hit. Now this doesn't matter too particularly much. Like for example, even if I'm like particularly close to this, if they do come in for an attack, LilyWill will probably just run away here. We can, if we crit, we probably can kill as well. Let's see if we can crit here. No, we did not crit. So they might die from infection though. Let's see, let's see. Yeah, they just died from infection. Yeah, you can see like pretty good. There we go. See, LilyWill is particularly strong with Sophia. There we go. Her using her assist, pretty nicely get away from that, and she sets up for an extra attack. She gets enough range, and she can go in for another attack. It might be a little risky here just because the dogs are coming up, but that's why we're moving Pamina up a bit. And now what's cool is if you do get her 5-star, you can imagine that like she has that ability up more because she has the cooldown reduction every time she is attacking from Highland. So yeah, she's going to be very sort of slippery as a unit. Okay. And this actually attacks the dog? Now look at that. Now we're just going to have, I guess, Pamina take care of this side. And this is like the ideal case, right? Because in general, most maps aren't going to be like this. There is going to be some elevation change, but not this egregious. Yeah, and I guess one of the other issues is like she's very single target. It's one of those things where if you don't want to put all your chickens in one basket, you would run a DPS unit that has like more ways of attacking like multiple enemies. But yeah, as you can see, like if you're attacking from the Highland, like it's gonna be particularly like strong. Like we've been able to clear a bunch of these out pretty nicely, pretty smoothly, with no issue. We weren't worried about like units getting too close because we have like the passive, we have just like the ability to run away, unlike Nungle. There's a lot happening here at LilyWill that's like particularly useful to have like a independent DPS unit. That's what she is. So there's not much to say after that. Like I can go over maybe what it might look like for the Teton stage. I think that might be a little more helpful because I think that might be more representative of what an actual stage would look like, where it's like it's a little more flat, and you know, you kind of sort of expect people to just be very aggressive towards you. We can see the same comp though. Change Pamina out. I think she just does too much. Do something like this. Take this out. Honestly, probably put in someone like Maita. Someone to just like help tank damage. Then we can take this. And that works fine. Okay, and let's see how LilyWill works here. Just take the lead here. That's okay. We can do this, and we get free crit from LilyWill, I think, in this sense. Like, she has 100% crit now, I think. Right? She gets 30% from this, from the Coco. We get 20% from our, let's see, if we go to gear effects, so 30 total from this and the crit 2, 20%, so 50% there, and we have 55%. Where else are we missing? We're missing something else. So Tarot, Trinket, Weapon, that's 50 by itself. Oh, plus 30 from the Guardian. And then plus 30 from the crit 2. And so it's like 80? Is that only 80% crit? Surely I thought I had more crit on her. Okay, we can actually just attack though here. Do something like this. That doesn't get her in there. Here we just attack here. Okay, cool. So we can move 2 over, but that does mean we can't hit any of them actually. Okay, we're doing like 3k to the pikeman. So it's gonna be like 4,500. Or if we use the nuke. And we can like get more range too here. We don't have to like stand this close. Not that it does too much. Like you can be at any range and still do the same amount of damage unlike previous units. So we just do this. $9k damage. Pretty strong. Okay, I'm actually not sure what the crit is because that's the multiplier is much larger, right? I guess it's because I did 1.5. I'm sorry, 150 physical damage. I guess our crit damage also increased the multiplier for it. We have 2 crit multiplier updates, one from the Vento and the other from Obstinate, and then another one from the Justice, so it actually is doing a lot. Here we go. But yeah, one of the issues now though I'm seeing is that like, while we did nuke them, we kind of have some downtime now, right? We have like 3 turns of not being able to do anything else. That's just sort of a showing from Safia there. Okay, so let's see. We can do, if we did some more damage. Okay, 3k, 4k. Does it just, can we just assume this does like 6k damage? Like, will this kill if we crit? Now, one issue is that we don't have Highland advantage right now. This would give us Highland advantage. I'm curious how much it would do. Probably not kill, but we don't even need Highland advantage. What we do is just need a crit. We just get extra crit chance. So let's see if this kills. Okay. I mean, that was Safia there, but like 5k damage? Not too bad. And like, mind you, we're not really helping out LilyWill at all here. She's just sort of taking care of herself. She's like contributing and taking care of herself. So yeah, crit damage is like pretty good, pretty strong. Not much to say there. But I can go over like one of the other builds I've been playing with. I thought was like okay. I kind of call it Janitor LilyWill, where she sort of just is picking up some kills whenever she can, like whenever it's like suitable for her. So for example, you can probably switch this out with Longbow Bombardiers, switch this out with just I guess anything really. We can switch out with this, and then we can switch Verdict out with just a Devil. I'm sorry, I am a Devil junkie. I always somewhere I need to put Devil in my build. It literally just has to happen. Where's my physical attack Devil? Here we go. And the thing about this build though is instead of going Arrow of Aeolus, we sort of just go in for the Shooting Stars. And I think actually this is another way to build LilyWill particularly effective because this applies physical defense down 2, which is minus 40% physical defense across multiple units. And so with this build, you actually want to run a lot more physical defense damage dealers. We have a lot here just because they all do physical defense, I'm sorry, physical attack. But like you can imagine if you have like teams who are a lot more heavy on physical attack, like if we add something like August or something like Safia, like it definitely starts to show that like she's applying more of a supportive damage dealing strategy to her. So we could do something like Fake Out actually, like this. Doesn't he have like a? He's got like a volley. She's like kind of strong, for sure. But is there anyone else with like high AoE damage that we can pick? I mean, we could just like pick one of the epic units here, like Darken. But he does magic damage, so he's not going to be able to take advantage of the physical defense down. We could do Agile Eye, which is like a mini LilyWill. Okay, I think we could keep it at that, to be honest. But I'm still thinking that I could do Fake Hal instead. Now, I've not built Fake Hal before, but it just wanted to go to show that, like, you know, it could be helpful, and applying a lot of like defense over physical offensive teams. So we could do something like, I don't even have too many physical attacking items. Something like this. This like probably okay. Like this. And you want to build this probably. Let's see. Gale below Valley. Darna. This is probably good. Okay, mind you, I never play Fake Hal, so I'd have to like really look into how to play him correctly. This is probably fine. Even maybe actually something like this. This is probably a little better. Okay. Slow them down. I can go first. Maitha's like my low-key underrated unit, but she's probably rated just as much as she needs to. But it's like a whole other video I'd talk about later. Okay, so with this build, basically what you want to do is kind of just like spread your damage out, right? Like you can lead with this. And then when you're leading with this, you can sort of have people go after whoever they need to. But the thing is, you're not really reliant on going after a single unit to nuke. We can also just defense boost here. So for example, if I want to go after this dude, Elite Swordsman, like 1732 with just a Maitha attack. Now, imagine if we didn't do that. Hold up. Imagine if we did something like this. Just show like how strong it is to have that physical defense down. Sure, we can do this again. This won't boost any abilities, any attacks. Look at that, 300 damage. Is 300 damage worth it? Honestly, I think over a couple turns, I think it is worth it. It's going to be lasting for 2 turns, but also you have to take into account that Maitha and I don't have too many other physical damage dealers, but like Maitha and Coco are going to be dealing damage here. So across maybe 2.5 turns, we're going to get basically 1400 damage out of them. I'm sorry, that's going to be 2 turns. We're going to get an extra 1400 damage. Just about, just like rounding, like napkin math. Okay, so yeah, it's pretty okay. And the thing about this is though, is that we basically can get away with just being a little more, I guess, versatile, because we can just sort of aim after who we need to. Like for example, if I want to attack this middle guy here, I'm hoping that Tiden isn't gonna fight me here. But also we actually get to snag some stragglers here in the back too. So if they ever come up, we can like deal some significant damage to them. Could be something like that. Then we can do. We do need to charge up our Papal Ice Boost. Okay, so we got the energy restore, and then we can just like hit this dude. There we go. That was actually perfect. Jeez. I think we're just gonna Iron Pot Studio. That took a little more damage than I would like to. We do have the added benefit of being able to potentially do another shooting stars, which actually stacks really nicely with each other. You get a chance to do that. So yeah, we're doing 5k damage there. Let's see. What can we do here? Honestly, it's hard to think about. I think we gotta move people down more. But we don't want to do it. We want to do it smart. There we go. Okay, we can heal everyone here. Alright, and then this dude put me to sleep. Oh, my thing is not looking good. Alright, so now we can just like start picking people off. Like right here, this is like a good pick off. Oh, rip. Half of everyone just like dies, jeez. Okay, and like the strength there was that like we were able to comfortably target multiple units instead of just like one. And on top of that, the shooting stars from the LilyWill is sort of a nice setup for like her auto attacks, because she's gonna go into auto attack mode in most cases where like she's had downtime. Like imagine if there was the Aeolus attack, like she would have had downtime anyways, but I think her downtime is a little stronger if you do it this route. I think. Yeah, she gets out really nicely there. We take care of this dude. I think we can, after our next few attacks, so I think we can get away with just like spamming another AoE shooting stars. Okay, maybe not. They put up a freaking physical defense shield. Jeez, I got unlucky. Okay, he just dies. You can like almost kill. Jeez. And then here, probably just set up some more ice. It's like low-key feel like another showing from Apple Ice Priest. Like my underrated goat, to be honest. Bandage. There we go. But yeah, you can see though, like, we haven't really had to do much with LilyWill at all here. Like, she's been soloing basically most of this map for herself. Like, she's been fending for herself. The issue though you are seeing here kind of is that, like, at least it might be a team comp issue. She's kind of just like lacking the damage compartment with this, like, consistent single target damage. You can't like cover all gaps, but like, you know, we're kind of slow here. They have got a lot of physical defense shields and stuff. Honestly, not a good comp for LilyWill, especially because like the issue that, or the thing that we did with Nungle was a little different, because Nungle converts her physical damage into magic damage. So like we don't have to really fight through all the physical defensive shields that she has. Granted, we were able to take care of some units that were applying the physical shields. So maybe we can get through it a little faster, but like, yeah. Okay, we have to cover up for Lily a bit here. Okay, that was kind of a cool fight scene there. Very anime-esque. Okay, then we back off a bit here. Something like this. 9k damage off of a crit. Okay, but that basically shows off LilyWill. I think there's one. Okay, I think there's one other way you can play LilyWill, and this is like the most forbidden way because the issue with this is not too much content can handle this. And I say that in like the most respectful sense. And that is like her infection build. So for those who know, infection basically is a way to dealing percentage life loss damage based on some amount of stacks of infection that you have on you. I think it's essentially like a little less than 1% of infection damage per stack for most content, just because they have a lot of, I guess, infection or damage over time reduction. Let's see if Titan has it. Yeah, Titan has it. So advanced immunity. So basically reduces percentage damage taken by 95%. So yeah, you can take that 1% of damage over time to health to like 0.01% of damage. Basically, it's not doing too much. Like most end game content just isn't really helpful for her infection build, but that's like kind of scattered throughout her kit really. So for example, you have stuff like the infectious attack. It's a curved shot that does 1 stack of infection damage, but you also have something like her Aeolus arrow, her arrow of Aeolus, where like it puts 2 stacks of infection onto the enemy. But like this is still like a low amount of stacks generally to do to a single unit. So that's like another way of building her, but yeah, it's kind of weaker in my opinion. I kind of do like the route where like you go more supportive cleanup route, where like you're running shooting stars over something like Aeolus break, but like it is definitely doable. Aeolus break does a lot of damage. So like yeah, definitely like test out running this arrow of Aeolus and like shooting stars. Personally, I do think the crit build is a little stronger than the build I'm currently running, but like it definitely feels better to me. It feels more consistent in my opinion, without having to super rely on crit, which might be honestly what you need to do to make LilyWill be like really effective in a team, especially if like her goal is to like knock out destroyers. Which I say that like lightly, but like if you're playing against a bunch of destroyers, a lot of people will be playing against, granted like PvP environment or something like that, like LilyWill is definitely gonna be one of the ones that it's gonna like one shot them. So on top of that, like her Aeolus skill break, you have to think about this doing like 150% damage plus 2 stacks of infection. So that's like around 2% damage health, which is not too much, but like, you know, that sort of stuff definitely adds up, especially with like a lot of random ambient like environmental effects like scorch, or like gas or explosions, right? That stuff can add up. So yeah, that's LilyWill. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. How are you guys playing her? Because I've only literally been doing research on her for like the past day, and that's really all I can think about is like her playing with her like this. I think the longbow martyr is really helpful for her, especially if you're going. Actually, any build is really helpful to have longbow martyrs. So I think basically it amplifies her crit damage, and I think it will amplify her infection damage in general. So I think it's like a really good weapon to have in general on LilyWill. Other than that, though, I could see like sometimes people running the Maverick on her too, just because she does have a lot of range. I think she has 4. Let's see, her auto attack is 3 range, plus the wind walking 4 range. But if you do something like Arrow Aeolus, you get the 5 range. So you can make it work. It's definitely like risky though, because it's definitely gonna be cutting it close. Because how far do you really want to be like from the enemy without having like your teammates there? She's not like Nungle where like you can actually kind of do that. She actually does need to be a wee bit closer than Nungle. So yeah, what do you guys think about her? Let me know in the comments down below. How are you building LilyWill? I think she works really well independently as part of like any comp she can work with. I don't think she has too many flaws. I think her only flaw is like being able to handle large amounts of units probably, where like she's just a high damage single target damage dealer, unlike someone like Luvada who's doing like spread out damage, or someone like even I guess Convallaria, right? He can do a lot of single target damage, but he also has like his rain AoE attack, mind that does only 40%, but like it's still a lot of damage across a lot of units. With Luvada, I think her damage is basically somewhat similar, but does need some setup. Like she can just do it out the gate, like one shot, look at a single target and like deal damage to it, right? Like I think, I guess in some sense, like you can get away Actually, no, because this is three energy, right? So you can literally just do it the first time you spawn in, or like Luvada or someone else. If you don't have any support for her, like she can't do that stuff. Like she can't spam her Nirvana flames. Well, she can't spam it at the first time she acts. But something like LilyWill can, with like similar amounts of damage across like a single target though. So a lot to be said about here. LilyWill, I think she's like pretty strong. I think she's moderately strong. I think she can be overshined a few places here and there, but I think in general she probably works out a little better than Nungle independently, but like works for like similar reasons. But let me know what y'all think, comment below, and I'll catch you later.